Hi guys, welcome back to another quick card pull. This is being filmed on Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. Today we're pulling from the Kuromi Tarot cards. I got this off of Temu if you're interested in buying a deck. So starting off with the Queen of Pentacles, and I feel like this is just being, I feel like lessons are being learned, or you've planted seedlings how to make money work, and I feel like the petals is kind of like a celebration, when you get like confetti and stuff like that. But definitely highlighting that you are a giver, but this doesn't always have to be financial. I do definitely feel like you're generous with your finances, but this is also like you're seen as like the mother figure of the group, where they could get sound advice, someone they could count on. So you know what I mean? We were talking about recouping our energy. So that's what I've been doing myself. Again, if it resonates with you, I'm still doing my meditation. Kind of like my son is doing. He realized that onions and garlic are heaters, as they call it. They warm up your body, so it causes heartburn. So he cut those out of his diet, and now he doesn't have heartburn. So, and he's young, so I'm glad he figured that out, because I know that's something that ran, his dad had bad heartburn. Didn't realize it was the onions. We got rid of the garlic, but didn't realize onions was causing it as well. But you know what I mean? I like the fact that he, both of them are like that. This doesn't work for me. And I feel like this goes around with like grounding energies for yourself. If you're around people that make you feel a certain way, like bring down your happiness or really crap on you, you know what I mean? Like they're showing like Olivia, Tony Soprano's mom, where she just craps on everybody, makes every situation poo-poo. It's like, cut those people out. Limit the time that you spend with them. Going to our King of Pentacles, snoozing. I feel like making money while you're sleeping. You know what I mean? Making your money work for you. This is not a call for you to go into the stock market or anything like that. Don't misconstrue my message here. This is other ways. I feel like this is where kind of like, there's, what's his name? Him and his wife, and they have 8 kids. I think they have their 9th on the way. They do have their 9th on the way. I'm pretty sure it's their 9th that's coming. And it's like making, TikTok work for them, where they're getting partnerships. Like he just did one for a gaming company in his area. He's doing some paper towel company. You know what I mean? And now he's incorporating the kids. You know what I mean? And it's like that they're using what they have to make money, and better their situation. And I feel like in that way, what they're talking about. Remember, they were talking about a collaboration, and they were saying maybe some people is like, oh, that's so small. Like maybe you just get like their product. You don't get like an actual paid endorsement. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like where Spirit was saying, like if you always look down at things that they're too small, then you're never going to get those opportunities to grow bigger, because you're not appreciative of the opportunity. They're showing the King of Wands, and this is where it's following your intuition, and they've been really strong with this. So heading into retrograde, I feel like that's again where I have been told this before, is meditation is a good idea before you head into a retrograde. Obviously Pluto, I was not aware of it till it was too late. Probably wouldn't have done it anyway. Let's be a hundo, you know what I mean? But going through everything I did for those 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, gotta, where my tiger's eye, where my third eye, you know what I mean? And I feel like it 333. So we got 303, now 333. So going by that number chart that I had and I posted to everybody, this is guidance from our ancestors. So I'm hearing like crow's caw. So like, deliverer of minor messages, stuff like that. So what speaks to you, and like, symbols. So dragonflies, ladybugs is what they're showing, those kind of things. But following your intuition. Don't let people sway you off your path. People are trying to kick you off your path with, oh, do this, do that. That's none of your business. You do what you feel is right. You know what I mean? Like, people are always going to throw their opinions at you. You do what you feel is best. Love this. Ace of Pentacles. So, I love the flowers that are here. We're having, I love this summer because last year was so incredibly hot and muggy. It was disgusting. So this year is nice and rainy, which I'm appreciative of, and it's bearable. You know what I mean? Like, you can actually enjoy it. There's a certain situation where you can't really enjoy it, but what can you do? It is what it is. There's a reason for everything. But I love this, that they're like, you've already, so kind of like Wisdom was talking about, this was a purge. This is completion. We keep getting the world card, and they're like, you're ready to ascend the new mountain. You're getting ready for a new opportunity. They were talking about, everyone's talking about this new era, but you have to go through the purge first before you can go to the new era. But with the flowers, it's so significant because like I said, we take this year off. Every 7 years, you don't grow your garden. But if you had something that always, grows every year that is supposed to be donated to like food banks or neighbors or what, you're not to touch it, or to the animals of the earth, like you're not to consume it. So this is where I feel like, with the flowers, I was like, oh, I'll make a flower garden. So, we can make vases and stuff like that. But haven't gone into that yet because my vacation was bumped. So it is what it is. I'll try and get to it. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But again, I just I went to my sister's and her sunflowers are pretty big already. I was like, dang, girl. She's like, yeah. I'm like, we had frost. And she's like, yeah. She's like, I just planted them and they grew. I was like, damn, they're pretty hardy. But, I'm probably going to try and do that this year. We only got one last year. Two last year. I planted a whole row. I got two. This is where Spirit is telling us that the balance is coming in. Remember when we were pulling cards, we got the moon card, like, tribe, calling back in your tribe. Maybe everybody's been busy. Everybody's busy right now. With graduation, schools coming out, kids moving out of schools or moving to college or camps, or, maybe you're utilizing this in vacations. They were talking about vacation, but your ship's about to come in. But so maybe restoring finances, balance in that way as well. But I feel like because both feet are on the ground, I feel like maybe you're like myself where, you know what I mean? You get kind of, you're walking straight, but you're kind of walking sideways. It looks like you're drunk, but you're not. You're just losing balance because you need a little bit more sleep. So, again, called for rest and rejuvenation. Utilize this time. That's why I was like, I'm so thankful that, what I thought was going to happen this week. That's why I was saying, like, you never know what's around the corner. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen this week. It's going to be nuts. You know what I mean? And, what are we going to do? And, like, I know what we were going to do, but it's just, like, an opportunity to recuperate. You know what I mean? So when that comes, it's just like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so burnt out because I get off at 2. I'm usually in bed by like a little bit after 3 because you walk the dog, devotion, wrapping up things around the house. And then it's like, before you know it, it's when they come, it's 7 a.m. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's going to be a long day. I'm like, I'll just, pray to God that I get through it. Nothing you can do about it. But, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I'm grateful that I got a chance to recuperate. So got the 3 of Pentacles here. We were talking about collaboration, or this could be the Holy Trinity because it is in a triangle, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. I love the fact that it's like, it looks like they're doing like a play and they're shining like the flashlight on them. So kind of like working together and maybe filming something. Maybe it's scripted, when they talk about collaboration, or they're talking about how the energies work together, or how like as a family unit or a friend unit or whatever, a soul tribe coming together to work together for a common goal and it's successful. So got the 9 of Cups. So everything in the future is lining up beautifully. There's like always, things always work out for me. So I don't know if you're changing the way that you see how you manifest, or how your language, like we were saying, make sure everything's full circle so that there's no harm to anyone, including yourself. Maybe during that time, if you did go through that purge where it was like there was a lot of worry, there was a lot of things that were brought up. I remember speaking to someone at my job last night, and she was like, everything that she was talking about, I'm like, girl, trust me, I felt that the last week. I'm like, everything, I'm like, I wish I could say more, but obviously you got to be professional. I'm just like, girl, everything you're saying, I felt last week, like 444. That's been a very strong angel number with us throughout, for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's your foundation. We kept getting the Emperor. They're showing the Emperor in my mind's eye. I feel like it's also showing who you are. Like, I'm thankful to my kids for believing in me even when I don't believe in myself. You know what I mean? It's just, sometimes all it is sleep. That's all you need. You just need some rest and rejuvenation, and unfortunately, the shadows, they come in strongest when you're vulnerable. I was watching 4 Seasons with I could see her face, Tracy. Oh my gosh, she's from Mean Girls. She was the teacher in Mean Girls. I can't think of her name. Maybe it's not even Tracy, but she did 4 Seasons. She did with the guy who grew from The Office, and all it's really, really good. But like, his wife, Gru's wife, Steve. I call him Gru. He's probably like, I'm more than Gru. But you know what I mean? Where his wife was just like, don't let those voices in, because once you do, it's hard to get rid of them. And I keep telling my kids that, you got to rip that record out of your head, because that what they're telling you is further from the truth. You know what I mean? We all doubt ourselves. We're all fearful. We're all afraid of failing, because that's all we're, fed that narrative. But it's just like when you're triumphant, you know what I mean? You're just like, oh my gosh, I did it. You're not like, oh, look at me, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I can do anything. It's like, no, I'm thankful that I was able to get the knowledge and the understanding and the skills to do what I needed to accomplish. You know what I mean? So it's a great feeling, but I feel like you need to take that forward with you. But, like with myself, I was like, I've been through worse than this, and I will get through the other side of things. When they were showing, Energy Oracle card Storm Warning, where the tornado moves forward and it's like it's trying to rock you off your path. When I said like you're walking straight, but you feel dizzy and you feel something trying to pull you to the left or to the right, and it's like you got to stay on that path, but you got to take care of yourself as well. Love the Ten of Cups. We saw a rainbow the weekend that just passed, which is beautiful. But unconditional love, your happy home. This usually has a house, and it highlights the covenant, if you're a faithful person, between humans and Yahweh, God, Yahweh, Creator, Gaia, Mother Earth, universe, higher self. But you know what I mean? It's just like that energy. You know what I mean? What a lot of us, even though we don't have $1 million in the bank, it's like that kind of energy right there. Your peace. Who posted that? Ryan. I used to work with him at Tim Hortons, and I'm lucky enough to still be friends with him. And he was like, if you don't bring me these kind of vibes, I don't want you around me. And I'm like, amen. You know what I mean? They're laughing. They're having a good time. They're having good food. They're laughing it up, and that's what it's supposed to be about. You know what I mean? Yeah, we all bitch about working this and that, but it's just like, you know what I mean? We all want to laugh and joke. And like, when we were at my sister's, where I was picking on her, because her husband's younger than her now. It's like, that's why you got a younger husband. No, you're a cradle robber. We're all laughing. And she's just like, ha, ha, ha. You know what I mean? I always pick on her when I see her, but you know what I mean? It's just like having a great time. And that's, you know what I mean? When the kids are happy, that's what makes me and her happy, We love all the kids like they're our own. Like, we protect them. But, they're great kids. They protect us. Like, as much, you know what I mean? It's like you invest so much in your kids, and then it's like, you really see how much they care when you go through some crud, you know what I mean? Life be lifing. They're just like, we got you. You know what I mean? Don't worry. We're not going to let you fall. Like, what do you need? How can we help? Great kids. Very thankful for those kids. Making us laugh. I laughed with my nephew so much. We were just sitting there and he's playing video games and I'm picking on him and he's picking on me. Like in a fun way, And it's just nice, He's playing his games. I'm spending time with him. It's nice to do those things, Wish we could do it more. Page of Cups. I feel like it's like setting something free, because usually they're hanging onto the cup really tightly with the fear of losing it. And here it's kind of like, I'm setting you free, as much as we're like, we're setting you free so you can be a bird. It's like, don't fly away too far. You know what I mean? But it's just like when I talk about those hawks, she lays her eggs and you see them like, near August, and they're teaching them how to fly, and one's on the upper, like the top of the babies, and the one's on the bottom, and if they go too low, they push them back up so they fly some more. Oh, it's so brilliant. It's like teaching your kid how to ride a bike. And I feel like that's what they're saying. Like, it kind of looks like cheesed off. I want to go out in the ocean. No. You know what I mean? It's just, they're showing the statue Michelangelo sculpted, where it's Mary, where this is kind of depressing, but where they take Jesus off the cross and she's bawling her eyes up, looking up to heaven, like, look what, I trusted the world with my son and look what they did to him, It's so heartbreaking, but you know what I mean? It's just like, that's the cross that a lot of moms, or anyone that cares for children with wholeheartedly, you know what I mean? It's like they would do anything for their kids, and it's just like, you put them out in the world and you hope that, that you taught them enough life lessons that they make the right choices about who they hang around, and, they continue to grow that tribe and meet someone that they care about, and hopefully whatever their decision, if they want to grow a family or just be happy. Like, that's at the end of it, that's what you want for your kids. A stable, peaceful, loving, happy life, So I feel like that's what it's like. The little baby's like, I want to go. And the Kuromi's like, no. Got the world card, and we've been talking about this, like everything, the fact that she bows or something significant, you feel like that. It's like wrapping it all up with a nice bow, like, you know what I mean? Like everything is copacetic, everything is going smoothly right now, And just because retrograde is coming, don't feel like it's doom and gloom, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, here we go. But I feel like this is like, You know what I mean? It gives it a second chance. You know, how many times do we get a second chance to do things in life? So maybe a second chance to do things over again. So, like Anastasia was saying, lessons have been learned. So maybe this is another time for an opportunity for something to come in. And this time you've learned. You know what I mean? You've learned the people, places, things. You learned what didn't work, you know, what you did. So, you know, and we always want to point out to the outside world, well, we got to like look at ourselves. What do we have to change in ourselves to make situations better as well? You know, it's not always the world, but you know, just let everything wrap up. Just take it easy with yourself. If you're able, watch your favorite shows, belly laughs, be around your favorite people. If you're able to have a little beverage, you know, kick up your feet and just relax, go for it. Last card is the Magician. So I feel like this is very potent that, it, you know, especially going through retrograde, Pluto retrograde, hopefully you're not going through any of it, but, you know, prepare yourself for it. So if you're able to do meditations or go for walks and outside in the nature or, you know, even gardening, even just like turning off your brain. And my son will come outside and he'll be my DJ, he'll play music and I'll garden and I'll bring two chairs out. If my other son comes out, I'll bring another chair out and we'll hang out in the backyard, play music and, you know, I'll just do my garden and, you know, it's nice to have chit chats with your kids and, you know, just have a nice day, you know, so it could be, you know, talking about that. But I feel like whatever is coming, you already have, is already a part of you. You know what I mean? And I feel just believe in yourself, drink your water, do your stretches, whatever makes sense to you. Get out in the fresh air whenever possible. And do surround yourself with, like, you know, my friend Ryan said, if you're not bringing this vibe to my life, you know, you don't want that in your life. You want people you can vibe with and have a great time. Life is too short and going way too fast to waste it on toxic energies. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick card pull. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next one.